Let me try doing it in YouTube, I guess. Oh no, it is live. Okay, it's live now.
Are we live?
Yeah, we are.
Now
we
we're live.
I see it in the live.
Have we been live or have
No,
we
we
been
are live
live?
for
or-
20 seconds now.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not going to do an intro again, but I will welcome you along. Slightly hesitant start in this new broadcasting era, but
Also,
hello
I want
everyone,
you
welcome
to
along.
check Okay, the... Fuck, I'm having a stroke again. I wanted to see if the broadcast is broadcasting, and it is indeed broadcasting. If that even makes
This is
sense.
Next Gen Heritage. This is Next Gen Heritage. Should I keep talking?
Yeah, I
hope so.
guess. Do your thing.
Okay. Right, we've got 17 minutes to go in this session. I'm Mr. Storm, joined along in the commentary box by no one yet exceeds our resident streamer now. He will be joining me permanently for commentary in T1.
That is correct.
Ryan will be with me tonight in T2 whenever he decides to finish eating a meal. Of course, my commentary partner from last week, Bath Destroyer, will be back hopefully from next week's not next week's race, we're on the summer break, but from the 23rd of August's T2 race. Anyway, 16 minutes 35 seconds to go. Good evening to you all, welcome along to yet another T2 race. For those of you who are unaware, let's take a quick look at the championship standings coming into this one. And well, it's been pretty easy to say that JL have had a great season so far. Litwa has been on the podium in every single race. He's been absolutely brilliant. He's on 106.5 points at the moment. Marcus is 26 points behind him in second position, 80.5 points for Cludden, rounding at the top three. On 51.5 points, Klimek is 4th for Super Sapida, 7 Manders, Rally Ralph, Razout, Liberty, Samros and Camo. Rounding out the grid, Liberty announced his retirement in the last couple of days. Rally Ralph is going to start this qualifying session. He will activate the DRS in 100 meters time using a little bit of his battery. Here we go, first flying run of the session. Of course, Rally Ralph is in 7th for the championship, 31 points for the BWT Leicester Racing outfit. We'll see if he's able to gain more points for his team tonight. He should do, seeing as there's only 7 drivers in the lobby. At least it isn't a half-point race, which makes me feel very sad. Constructors' Championship at the moment.
Yeah, actually, I won't interrupt you. Go on, sorry. You just stuck too fast.
Fair enough. We'll go Constructors' Championship, then I'll let Exceed talk. Agel, of course, in the lead at the moment by 37.5 points from Orlen F1 in second. Toyota are 46 behind Orlen in turn in third. BWT Leicester Racing, Vimto Racing and Trackhouse round out the field. JD Motorsport, Shannon, the 2 fast food outfits yet to score points. Exceed.
Alright, I was about to ask, how many half pointers did we have so far? Because quite a lot, I have to
2.
say. Only
2,
I
I
thought
think.
more.
I think we had one in Abu Dhabi and we had one in Australia. That's all I can remember from the top of my head.
I see. Also, let's maybe talk about the track we were at a little, the Autodromo Nazionale di Monza.
Luckily enough, I've got 6 pages of roads note on this
Oh,
track, so I'm not
that's-
going to be stuck for information at any stage this weekend. But first of
you're
all,
a
Rally
bit
Ralph
annoying.
will conclude his flying
Alright,
run
he's out of
up
parabolic
towards the
now.
line. It's going to be at least in the 1 minute
Passes
20. He's
the
up towards the
finish
line, 1 minute
It's at
21.4.
21.4. Benchmark.
Interestingly
for today.
enough, looking at qualifying records around this track, in T1 at least, because we've had 3 Grand Prix in a row around here in season
I'll
2,
interrupt you a
3
bit
and
because
4.
Sam Manders is about to finish his flyer and he goes fastest by almost 2 seconds. Hey,
Understandably enough.
Now that's what I call a flyer.
San Manders has had a mixed season. Of course, he threw away victory last week in Spain to the dismay of himself and a lot of others. Nobody who's ever got pole around this track, at least in T1, has went on to win the race. The pole sitters around here were Tijan, I'm not sure how I'm pronouncing that, for Rich Energy back in season 2, and then Yaska the last 2 seasons for Akosha, and Jacassi, Litwa, Marcel and Oscar are race winners around this track in season 2, 3 and 4 respectively. Klimek goes into second, Litwa in third,
Now
Litwa
Super
of course
Speeda.
our championship leader.
Oh, and there's a car appears to be stopped before the first chicane, but disappeared to be.
I mean, he's got out now anyway, so it's not too
Yeah,
bad.
not too relevant.
Razout is 6th and Marcus is in 7th. Marcus hasn't
Marcus,
set a
yeah,
time
he
yet.
hasn't set a lap yet. So let's wait for him. He's still sitting in the pit lane. I mean, he has a plenty of time. 13 minutes, 16 seconds. Plenty of time.
Does he have to worry? Probably not.
Yeah.
We'll see what he does whenever he gets out on track
he
eventually.
has a guaranteed top 7 start, so...
Given how it's Monza though, and given the amount of chaos that can and eventually will happen, 7th might be a decent enough starting spot. Sam Matters at the top of the timesheets by 4 tenths of a second from Klimek in second position, Litwa is in third, Super Speeder, Rally Ralph and Razat round out the grid. First runs done for 6 out of 7 drivers in this qualifying session. We have got a couple of yellow flags for drivers going slow, 12 minutes and 42 seconds remaining in the session.
Yeah. So we now enter the boring phase where literally nothing is happening on track. How sweet.
It's very fun. It's very fun
Indeed.
to look at that. Looking at pole positions around this track, in real life, in the last 20 years at least, pole to win conversion has been solid enough. 12 out of the last 20 races have been won from pole position. That's 60% for those of you who don't know your maths. Gap around 2.5 tenths. So qualifying can be close, or it can not be close. Like in 2017 when Lewis Hamilton got pole position by over a second in that rain-affected session. Back in the early days of F1 though.
Oh wait,
People who
actually,
got pole
Razat and
did
Super
not
Speed are
win.
starting next lap, it appears.
Yeah, I can see why they're doing that. Razat's not had good qualifying history all season as he comes down in towards turns number 1 and 2, third gear and then second gear through the second part of the lap. Razat, of course, for Vimto Racing, hasn't been that bad in race form, has consistently scored points, but hasn't been up there fighting for race victories.
Does he have now?
First sector split 46 thousandths of a second down. Super Speeda has backed out of his run. Super Speed will eventually go again. Razat heading up towards Lesmo 1.
Start his run because he let Razat on the main straight. So what is he doing? Recharging KRS or what?
Probably. I would say so. Razat's got 15% left, but
And
of course he
he
would have
cut the
depleted
chicane,
most of that
so
on the Yeah, Razat would have depleted most of his ERS on the front straight and coming down towards the first sector split.
so
Middle sector split for
7%
him.
left.
He is 3.5 tenths up. Not the worst time gain in the world.
I think it will. Wait, will it move in the map yet or not quite?
It should move him into 5th as it stands, but if he
No,
finds
I mean
another
it's
10th,
literally
he could get into
thousands
4th.
difference between his split and what's the time for P5.
Rally Ralph.
Yeah.
It will be
and also
close. He
Macan
comes
is
for
going
Alboreto.
down on his outlap first one, and so is Rally Ralph actually. Sorry if my tongue twists. I got disused to it a lot. Hey, before he goes, 505 of improvement.
Yeah, I did speculate that Razak would be going 4th. Of course, Rally Ralph and Marcus will go again in this session. Marcus, of course, hasn't set a lap time. He'll go for the first time. Rally Ralph currently relegated down to dead last at this stage. Litwa and Klimek, both JL Fanatec WRTs, also out on a fly run, sporting a special livery for this weekend's race. Europol also doing one in the T1 race as per tradition. And I have to say, the Italy liveries have been quite nice in the past. And I like this year's one. I'm directly complimenting you, by the way, so...
I am aware
Sort
of
of.
that, but I'll try to be modest about it, I guess.
Here comes Rally Ralph starting another flying run. Heading down the front straight, of course, using a lot of his ERS 8th gear, 347 kilometers an hour for just a fraction of a second, braking for the first chicane, second gear for the first part, second gear through the second small kick of oversteer, coming out of that first chicane as he comes up towards the fast out right-hander of turn number 3. Of course, Sebastian Vettel and Fernando Alonso have had their moments, and down this first chicane,
And
Sebastian
this
Vettel and
split
Daniel
will
Ricciardo
have-
had their battle. First
Oh, it's
sector
not
split
improving.
64 thousandths of a second up.
Yeah.
First sector has been a little bit of a nicky point for a lot of drivers though. They do find time normally in the middle sector, heading through Lesmo 1 in 5th gear, 206 kilometers an hour, then down in towards Lesmo number 2, that second right-hander, before leading down onto the straight
Yeah,
before
he's
Sky
roasted
activates
a
the
little.
DRS. Rally Ralph, consistent enough, hasn't challenged for a win yet this season. Maybe tonight will be his lucky break.
And
Middle
he's
sector split
improving-
1/10
improving,
up.
1/10, yeah.
He has that 10.5 improvement, heading through Ascari now, 6th gear, 7th gear, and then into 8th, using all the road in the exit out of Ascari there. Very lucky not to get invalidated. If he went about an inch or more to the right, that lap would not have counted in towards Alboreto. Turn number 14, 6th gear, dropping it down to 5th. Up towards the line, the two JLs are on flying runs. Lit will be the first to come to the first sector split. He's a 10th up, but here comes Rally Ralph, powering towards the line,
Improves
goes to
into
5th.
P5, re-overtakes Raz out of the line.
Seed,
Alright, so-
take us through Litwa's lap.
Litva, so I thought we would go about Marcus, but alright. So Litva, I am bad at commentating this. Out of the Lesmo 2 he goes, the DRS open at some 290 kph now, 8th gear. Going straight, going fast, 8% at ERS. Into, oh, fastest second sector actually, 0.225 improvement through the Ascari chicane. which is set to receive new curbing in real life, by the way. It did receive it. But yeah, through the backstretch now, going some 310 kph, 88 gear of course, into the Parabolica or Curva Ascari, however you call it nowadays. Out of the Parabolica, onto the main straight we go. The DRS opens, yeah.
His teammate
and
immediately
he-
follows him across the line. Klimek, interesting enough, hasn't been able to outpace Little on many occasions this season. He did do so in the Australian Grand Prix qualifying session by just a couple of thousandths of a second.
Exactly 6.
But this time around, that was such a great qualifying session to open up the season. But Klimek this time around,
Litva will just never get a pole position in his life, because that's what it appeared to be the case back then. But well, we are here
Litwa.
now, times have changed, and yeah.
Litwa's been absolutely incredible this season. I have to say, he's been one of the best drivers in the league by a country mile. At least in T2, he hasn't been too bad in T1 either. He reserves tonight. Klimek, though, going quicker than his teammate by around 0.2 of a second. Sam Mendes is still in the pit lane. No movement from his garage yet. Super Speeder, Rally Ralph, both in the pits. Razat is on
Razat
a
the
flying
out
run.
lap now, so maybe
will be on
let's
fire run.
focus on him until he gets to the finish line, start line, whatever line. Just the line.
Time in line.
The checkered line. The names are many.
The line.
The white line. Although maybe not just, whatever line.
The bricked line, if we're talking about Indianapolis.
Yeah.
6 minutes 24 seconds to go in this session. Ryan will hopefully be joining us at some stage. If he doesn't, then that's a very bad first impression to make.
He's supposed to miss the qualifying and join early race, so we'll see.
That makes sense.
Yeah, anyways, now that's nothing happening. Storm, what do you think of the recent refurbishment works that have been going on at this track in real life?
I personally think Mons has been very in due of a repavement. The track is, of course, absolutely incredible. It always has been, always will be. Looking at it from
Also-
a point of view that...
And also, the most important thing, in my opinion, is that they not completely, but they did reprofile the first chicane. They made it a
that's
little
important,
bit
yeah.
more survivable. The 90-degree.
Of course, though, this
remains,
track
but-
isn't laser scanned or lidar scanned in this game, so
Yeah,
which
quite
means that
yet.
it looks
But
like it has done
I
since about
suspect-
F1 2018.
Yeah, I suspect they will just rescan it after they finish the refurbishments. It would
That
make
makes sense. Razat at a flying run. Super Sapita is on an outlap. Super Sapita has interestingly decided to skittle across the first chicane, but here comes Razak coming up
he's doing
towards
that
the
across all the
Retifilio, up
chicanes.
towards that first sector split. Razat sets a 26.457. He's a 10th and a bit up. That's not the worst first sector in the world for Razat. It will put him
decent.
provisionally in 6th position. Heading up towards Lesmo number 1. Will he drop it
needs
down to
to
5th gear? He
improve
will.
half a second to go into P5, if I'm correct.
Yeah, roughly about half a second to get
Yeah,
in front of
just
Super
maybe a bit
Sapita, but
less.
of course he's going on an outlap. Super Sapita, the latest race winner next gen by Gel, of course winning last week's Spanish Grand Prix in that dramatic last lap shootout with Sam Mendes. Sam Mendes currently at the top of the timesheets. Razat middle sector split has lost a bit of time, 60 thousandths of a second up, would be relegated down to 7th as it stands, coming out of Ascari's 6th gear, rising into 7th, using all the rest of his battery as he comes down the back straight towards Alboreto, 8th gear, and he's slowing down. He has backed out of his lap. Not the way to go. Certainly.
Yeah. And now I was just instructed to change the language of my game for the convenience of the viewers, which actually would make sense. Because as you can see on
We
stream,
don't understand
I actually...
Polish.
To wasz problem, nie mój. I mean,
Exactly.
what? Yeah, whatever. Wait, where do I even do that, honestly? Because I don't know. Wait, telemetry, something. Wait, maybe here? Yeah, I
Super
generally have no clue
Sapita's
where do I
interestingly... Super Sapita's gone for an outlap and has gone into the pits, while in the meanwhile, Rally Ralph's come out.
This, not simulation. Alright, gentlemen, I think you'll have to bear with Polish for this stream, or at least the T2 stream, because I doubt, I doubt you can change the language in the lobby.
No, you can't.
Yeah,
As far as I'm aware.
Yeah, you just... Actually, do I? No. Yeah, you'll have to bear with it.
Final stage of the qualifying, 3.5 minutes to go.
Yeah, right,
7
that as
drivers,
well.
all looking for pole position. Realistically, though, only 3 are going to get anywhere near it. Sam Mendes leads this session from Klimek in 2nd, and Litwa in 3rd position. Marcus Super Speeder, Rally Ralph, and Razat round out the grid at this stage. 3 minutes to go. Rally Ralph would be the first of the drivers to set a lap time No movement in the pit lane yet. I can't see if any mechanics are heading out of their pit boxes to signal anyone to go out. We do actually have movement from 2 separate boxes. It is, I believe, Razout. Yeah, Razout's one of those drivers, and I think it's Sam Manders. Yeah, Sam Manders to come out as well. Rally Ralph will go first, though. We're obviously going to focus on him for now. We'll see if he can improve from 6th place on the grid. To get into 5th or potentially higher, it would take a mega lap for him to go into 4th on the grid. And be at the back of the second row. Here he comes. We'll see what he's able to do. 6th gear, 7th gear, rising into 8th, using all that overtake on the front straight, activating the DRS. He starts his final fly run in this session. Using all that battery, about 60-70% of it depleted as he comes down towards the first chicane, dropping it from 350 kilometers an hour all the way down to 80. Negotiates the first 2 corners pretty well indeed, nothing to complain about there for Rally Ralph. Heads through turn number 3, of course, that flat right-hander kink. You don't really have to worry about that too much, but you do have to worry about the chicane that's coming up first sector split, though. 2 temps up, that's a fantastic lap so far for Rally Ralph. Flicking it left, then right, through turns number 4 and 5, then heading up towards Lesmo number 1, 6th gear, into 5th, then as he negotiates the first Lesmo down the short little straight before the second Lesmo, second right-hander in 2 corners. Running a little bit wide, might pick up a little bit of slipstream for the car in front of him. He doesn't decide to use that of Super Cepeda, but he will use all of his overtake button as there is a car in front of him that has... Oh dear.
Ooh, and that will certainly be a qualifying ban for Razout. That was just clear impeding. Maybe not intentional, but impeding still.
Sam Manders doesn't really care what's going on with Rally Ralph, but Rally Ralph's qualifying absolutely ruined. Here comes Sam Manders. This might be the lap that secures his pole position. 1 minute 18 seconds to go in this session. He might just make it around one more time should he fail to get this lap on the board, coming down towards turn number 1 and 2. He has locked up through turn number 1, which will of course hinder him through 2. He spun, and Sam Manders will not be improving. And Sam Manders crucially won't get to the line.
DT1 stream. Or whatever. I don't know.
So Klimek will be the first of the JL Fanatec WRT cars to come to the line. Sam Manders has thrown away pole position at least
don't say
now.
That yet. Klimek may do it as well, Litva may do it as well, time will tell.
We'll find out. Of course, we'll see what Klimek's able to do. Of course, breaking that 50-meter board, coming down towards turn 1. Huge lock with the rears for Klimek, but he manages to keep it stable and steady on the track. Litwa heading down towards that first chicane as well, but we will focus on Klimek for the sake of focusing on the first JL Fanatec WRT driver on the track. First sector split for Klimek. Is it a big enough improvement? It's 2 and a bit tenths up, and yes, it is a massive improvement. Yeah, so Klimek, despite that lock of the rears, is on for pole position. And here comes Litwa. Rally Ralph's now retired for the session, but here comes Litwa coming up towards that first sector split. Isn't an improvement for him, 6 thousandths of a second. Klimek heading through Lesmo number 2, using all the road on both sides of the track. Second session now over, but here comes Klimek. This might just be enough for provisional pole position. Middle sector, he's lost a little bit of time, but it still would be enough. Heading through a scar, flick it left, right, and then left again as he heads down towards the back straight. 8% of battery left, of course, most drivers using in those opening 2 straights. Here comes Klimek coming up towards Alboreto. Will it be enough for a second pole position of the season? As it stands, it looks like it will be. Sam Manders threw away pole position by spinning at the opening chicane, and Klimek might just be able to capitalize on this. Up to the line he comes. Isn't enough. No, it's not.
It's only 1/10. Holy.
Litwa's improving by 2 tenths, so Litwa needs to find about a 10th and a half to maybe pull this off. Can Litwa pull off all the odds here? Up towards the line. Isn't enough. No, it's not.
It's not enough. It will be P2 and P3 for
so Sam
Manders, our pole sitter for
Sam Manders just about holds on by 55 thousandths of a second.
Yeah.
And despite spinning, Sam Manders just about does it. He's on pole for the Italian Grand Prix.
Well, that wasn't the worst qualifying session, that's a certain.
No, I think you could say that was one of the T2 sessions.
Fair balance.
It is a T2 session though, when the grid is separated by, well, about 2 seconds. But it also is a T2 session when the grid is separated, at least the front 3 are separated by around a 10th and a half. That was a lot of fun. We'll get our grid, our official grid order coming up now. Here it is, the grid for the Italian Grand Prix. Sam Manders on pole by 55 thousandths of a second. Litwa's teammate Klimek is 30, fronts the second row of Marcus in 4th, Super Cepeda and Rally Ralph are 5th and 6th. Razout is 7th, he will most likely be getting a qualifying ban for the next Grand Prix in 3 weeks' time. The Italian Grand Prix is in T2 is live and uninterrupted, and of course it is next. Are you ready? I certainly hope you are. It's the last chance to make an impression in T2 for 3 weeks. Of course, we go on our mid-season break after this Grand Prix. And what a grace it could be. What a dramatic qualifying session it was. Sendmanders potentially throwing it away. Binning coming out of the first chicane, but Litwa threw it away. Litwa got very close. Klimek threw it away with a terrible final sector. Marcus, Super Sapita, Rally Ralph and Raza rounding out the grid for this one. It is overcast. Dreary enough weather. Thankfully, the rain has stayed away. I'm Mr. Storm, joined the commentary box for now by Exceed. Ryan will hopefully be joining us in the next couple of moments. Exceed, welcome back to the commentary box. It's your first race in around, I want to say, 4.5 months. Something, maybe a little bit off.
It's been a while, to say the least.
Welcome back. Who's going to win this one?
By heart, I'm saying Litva. Realistically, no clue.
Nothing really interesting to report in terms of tyre compounds. All the grid starting on the medium compound tyre. That's Sendmanders down all the way to Razout. Formation lap. Nothing really special is going to happen. You would like to think, unless someone comes together with someone, maybe just maybe we're going to see a classic. Maybe just maybe the three drivers at the front.
I was about to ask, will we see
run away with it.
at T1 or?
I don't know.
Well, to be honest, I do hope so. It will bring a lot of laughs, I guess.
Who takes it? No idea. I don't do predictions.
Fair enough, I suppose.
Yeah, I suppose my role is to ask the questions, not to answer the questions, but we'll see anyway.
Through this one.
The race coming up. So Sendmanders obviously on pole position.
I don't know how much laps. Who will take it?
19 laps, I
We'll
think.
see.
I think it's 19 laps, and then the T1 race is 26 or 27 laps.
Yeah, no clue. Would have to check myself.
I'm
But
pretty
I don't
sure
have
about
a
that.
calculator.
It would be 27 laps in the T1 race. Yeah, I remember from last season. Last season's T1
I mean,
race
in
is
real
very
life,
fun
it's
indeed.
Like what, 50?
Oh wow, Sendmanders has spawned the
Sendmanders
grid.
binned it out of the formation lap. Who would have
Who
thought?
does he think he is? David Coulthard in 1995, and he has in turn disqualified potentially himself. He has.
Yep,
So
he did.
Sendmanders has set himself about 10 feet back on the grid. He thinks he was David Coulthard.
That's
He's not.
unfortunate,
He's
this
a
one.
he's a very very much worse version. But Litwa instead, and Klimek indeed, if they purple time their grid slots, they might well just have a great run coming down towards the first chicane off the track, and they might well have a great chance to jump Sendmanders even before the first chicane. But we are almost ready to go for the final race before the mid-season break. I cannot wait for this one. I hope you are ready as well.
I certainly am.
It is going to be
Alright,
13 corners.
Klimek's lined up. Marcus is, Super Supida is, Royal Ralph is, only Razout left now.
Razat lines up into formation, then we are ready to go for one final time before the summer
Close
break. And we are ready to go.
Light
2, 1,
light
2,
2.
3, 4, and 5 red lights for the next race of the T2 season.
And it's
And we're
lights
underway
out
in Italy. It's a
and
good
away we
start
go.
from Sendmanders. It's a better start from Litwa, though. Litwa will, of course, drag alongside Sendmanders and get
Ooh,
past
there's
it.
a
There's a
crash.
huge
There's already a
collision.
crash.
There's a huge collision. No one seems to be out from it, though. But
Yeah,
that
Litwa
is just poor
survives.
racecraft from a lot of
Yes,
people. Litwa gets the whole shot into turn 1.
Oh,
Super
and
Sapita second.
Manders
Marcus
into
third.
last.
Rally Ralph
Manders
fourth.
from pole to
Razout,
last.
Klimek and Sendmanders come together. Sendmanders relegated from 1st to 7th at the start of this race. We'll get past Razout,
Oh,
though.
that's
But
so
Litwa has
unfortunate.
escaped all the chaos Litwa leads coming through in towards the Variante della Roggia.
Hey, Super Supida is into P2 somehow.
Yeah, Super Sapita avoided all the chaos there as well.
Lucky man. this
Just
one.
about. Like
And
Litwa,
Royal
but
Ralph got
Litwa,
the
of course,
chicane,
leads.
so- Yeah. Oh wait, I set the wrong gaps on my timing stream.
So Litwa leads around the first lap of the Italian Grand Prix as they head through turn 6 and then up towards Ascari. Supita in second, Marcus trailing him in third,
Marcus
Klimek in
seems to
fourth.
be
Of course, a
preparing
lot
for
of
an
drivers
attack
were
now.
impacted by that first lap collision, the opening couple of hundred meters of
And
the
even
start.
though
We had a
the
collision.
field is still bunched up a little, 5 seconds from P1 to P last. Although we can see
Possible
two
race
distinct
strategies.
groups right now.
You probably do a one stop in this race. I wouldn't see why you do a two stop unless there was a safety car. But the front four covered by a blanket, you'd like to say, by around 9/10 of a second. Of course, DRS will be enabled on this
And
second lap of the
do we
race.
have
Ryan
Ralph
is now
too,
here.
perhaps? Yeah, Ryan, not Ralph. I'm mistaken.
Ryan's going to be here, so Exceed will take a departuring role, but he will be back for the T1 stream.
Who said I won't be?
A super
I
sup-
won't stop commentating. Euro and Super Supida fucks up a little.
I thought then whenever Ryan came that you'd be. Okay,
Oh,
fair
I
enough.
guess I'll just.
Ryan, start talking. Are you there?
He's here, but he's muted for a reason unbeknownst to us.
He's not muted on my screen anyway.
He is
But
on
we'll
mine.
find out. Marcus gets past Super Supita. Litwa leads the Grand Prix. As he did on the opening lap, of course, Litwa had the whole shot into turn 1 and has led ever since. Marcus second, Super Supita third, Klimek in fourth, with Rally Ralph, Sam Manders and Razat rounding out the field. Nobody's decided to pit, despite a couple of end plates flying off on that opening tour around the track. Through turn 5 they go, and down towards the curve to Saraglio. Of course, that flat out left hander. Litwa leads by 7/10 of a second. For Marcus in second, of course, Marcus does have the benefit of DRS. Klimek has passed Super Supita, who goes from second to
But will
fourth in the
Super
space for an
Supida
half a lap.
He won't. He was too far back. Now onto the
Interestingly
back
enough, Klimek has made up a very good recovery since that opening lap incident.
straight. Yeah, I
That
think
can't
he
be
was
said of
P6
Sam Manders,
at
he's still
one
sixth.
point, if I'm not wrong. Could have been
P5, I'm pretty sure.
yeah. Anyways, now
We'll
we can
see if
that Marcus
we do
is
get a
actually
change for
preparing
the
an
lead of the
attack.
race. We'll see if Marcus is able to
Yep,
get it done.
he
He
will
should
have
be
the
able to make that
DRS.
move.
But even
Klimek,
without
of course,
DRS,
will
he
try and
can-
benefit these two come together, but here comes Marcus activates his DRS. 8th gear, 330 kilometers an hour. Litwa holding on for now, not even using ERS. Here comes Marcus. We'll go to the inside,
down
but it
the
does look like
inside
he's too
he
far back.
goes.
He is too
He
far
doesn't.
back, but Litwa runs very wide for the first chicane. That might allow Marcus and Klimek to capitalise. It doesn't. Litwa holds on. Marcus still trailing Litwa, trying to get into the lead of the race. Klimek also behind Marcus in turn. That front three separated by a grenade pin you could throw over the top of them. Marcus getting very, very jittery coming out of the chicane, and Klimek sees his chance.
Down to
Klimek to the
Lesmo
inside
one,
into Lesmo.
and
One
he
makes the move.
But Marcus is still there, don't disregard him. He will have the DRS now. Behind Klimek, I believe. Yes, he does.
Ryan needs permission to speak.
Yes?
Yeah.
You have stuff you can give to him.
I don't think I can when I'm on this, so...
Then give
I'm
me a
kinda
second. Wait, where do I even write?
But as it stands, though, it is a JL1-2 Litwa from Klimek from Marcus, and the JLs, as they were in the first couple of races of the season, dominating the early stages of a race. We'll see, though, if team orders come into play in this
I
one.
don't know how to
Litwa
give
from
permissions
Klimek.
to Ryan, so I'll just have to leave him speechless. Or ask somebody
Here comes
else to
Klimek,
give him.
sets the fast up. Super Supita immediately sets the fast up after that. Klimek will go around the outside of his teammate, who will defend that inside line. Not much retaliation from Litwa. Of course, these two have come together, of course, back in that opening round a couple of weeks ago in Australia. Klimek takes the lead of the Italian Grand Prix. His teammate Litwa is in second. Marcus not so far behind in third. Sam Manders has rose up in position. He's got past Rally Ralph. He now needs to bridge 2 seconds to get to Super Supita, who's in fourth. Marcus third, with Litwa and Klimek fronting the field. Rally Ralph, actually, interesting enough, gets past Sam Manders, who I think might have let him past. Just joining us, lap 4 of 19 in the T2 race around the Italian Grand Prix circuit. Round 7 of 15, last race before the mid-season break. 3 weeks off. I'm not sure what I'm going to do on my Friday nights. Probably just watch the Premier League when it comes back, which is always fun. Litwa is around 3.5 tenths behind Klimek, as is Marcus. Super Supita around half a second behind Marcus in turn himself. Rally Ralph and Sam Manders probably need to work together to bridge themselves up to the front of the field. We'll see if Litwa is about to launch an onslaught, though, on his teammate coming down in towards the first couple of corners. Litwa, of course, going through Alboreto. 3 tenths behind. He might be coming down to the first corner. 3 tenths ahead, using a little bit of his overtake button. And, of course, we'll have DRS coming down the front
Right,
straight.
you think
Marcus sets the
Klimek
fast
will
lap
do-
off the
yeah,
race.
he
Here comes
does.
Litwa to the inside. Litwa does take the lead of the race. Klimek
you
down
think
to
this
second.
was
Will he
teamwork?
fight
Could have been.
Marcus? Marcus
Wait,
to
will
the
Marcus
inside
make
of
a lunge?
Klimek. No.
Yeah, he does not quite yet. And
Sen Manders gets past Rally Ralph yet again.
I mean, it wasn't
Sen
that hard,
Manders
but-
probably need... Yeah, Sen Manders is in the position now where he needs to push, but the DRS train in front of him is not going to help him whatsoever. Marcus 3/10 behind Klimek Super Speeder, just as he was last up, half a second behind Marcus in turn. But the JL switching positions by the laps, Litwa leads from Klimek in second. Another DRS zone coming up. Klimek in second position activates that rear slot on his rear wing, of course. Has actually gained a little bit of time with Marcus, and Super Speed is now actually out of DRS of Marcus, but he does get back within it pretty quickly. Klimek gets right up to the gearbox of his JL teammate and championship leader of Litwa, who of course is extending his lead as it stands in the early stages of this race. We'll see if Klimek can get past. Coming down towards turn 1, it'll probably be too late. They should have moved to try something into Alboreto. Klimek actually hugging the inside curb very nicely, and has as a result of that a lovely exit. Has used a little bit of his overtake button as Litwa sets the fast stop of the race, but here comes Klimek with overtake and with DRS to the inside. Klimek takes the lead of the race.
Oh, and there's Marcus still to make the pass? No,
He tries to go around the outside and then backs out of it. Marcus being very careful of how he operates at the moment. Super Speed are now out of DRS range. So we have a three-way fight for the win of the Italian Grand Prix in T2 from Klimek, from Litwa, and from Marcus.
So, when do you think we'll start seeing first pit stops?
At some stage in the race.
Well, that sure is an answer.
It is indeed.
Well, I don't know how's it with the lifespan of any tires on this track or any tires at any track.
Roughly, I think for the
midway?
possible race strategies, I'd say pit stops within the next 5 laps. Roughly. Maybe a little bit
5
before that.
laps, I'd say that's maybe a little bit too early, maybe a little
Maybe a
bit
little bit before it. I think possible race strategies sit around like lap 8 or 9 at a pushed lap 10. Of course, all the grid are starting on that medium compound tyre, as Klimek has pulled the pin on this lap. Lit was struggling to keep up.
Oh,
6 attempts to separate them on track, and of course, in qualifying, Klimek was ahead of Litwa for quite a long time in that session. Marcus may see an opportunity to get past Litwa should he not gain enough ground on his teammate coming down towards the first chicane once again. The lead has changed, coming down towards that chicane on each of the last 3 laps. We'll see if Litwa was able to get the job done. He is quite far back though and doesn't have much ERS to go along with it. Activates that DRS, which is his only hope and only real solace of trying to get into that lead. Marcus looks to the inside. Litwa dives up the inside, but is overshot for chicane.
He cuts
10
10
second
seconds,
penalty.
10 seconds for Litva.
That is just absolutely
Oh,
ridiculous
that's
from Litwa. There was
horrendous.
no need to do that, and he has to let Klimek past as well, which will allow Marcus close up to Marcus to close up to the back of Litwa in second. But that was just very foolish from Litwa
due to
indeed.
the penalty, he's virtually he's balancing on the edge of 6th and 7th right now, thanks to the penalty.
You'd like to think that they will pull away from the 4th and 5th down group though, so there might still be hope for Litwa to keep up his 100% record of finishing on the podium this season, but it was a foolish and
I
ignorant and
wouldn't
reckless
say, to
move
be
from the
honest.
championship leader.
Yeah, no way he's finishing podium with that.
He might do, you never know.
Yeah, it would be
Litwa
very
Litwa
difficult.
surprised me quite a lot this season anyway.
Maybe, I don't know. But right now with the penalty, he is 6th, yeah.
We'll see the JLs work together to try and help Litwa. Of course, Klimek and Litwa haven't had the best of relationships, it's fair to say. They had, of course, that crash, as was mentioned, in Australia. Litwa, they have battled in this race, of course. No team orders from any of the higher-ups at JL. But here comes Litwa, a lot closer than he was on the last lap. He's not going to overshoot the chicane this time, because he will go to the inside, and he will get the move done before the chicane. Marcus isn't far enough behind to launch an assault on Klimek. So the JL swap position once again, but on track, Klimek leads the race. Nearly at halfway, but not there just yet. Klimek getting very, very close to that gearbox in the rear of Litwa's JL. Not going to make the move though, down in towards turn 3 and 4. Too risky to make a move there, you would like to think, but that doesn't stop people going for moves from quite far back.
Oh, and
Super Speeder gets a second time penalty of the race. Super Speeder would be relegated
This
down
helps
to,
with
I
a lot,
believe. Yeah, slightly it does, yeah.
Yeah, he now only needs to pull...
Klimek to the
3 more
outside,
seconds on
Klimek
the-
might take the lead of the race, Litwa lets him go, Litwa did let him go there, but they've now got a second on Marcus, so the JLs, as I might have predicted, might just be working together to try and help Klimek and Litwa get away with this race victory. So we'll see what happens, because as it stands, Marcus is at a DRS range of Litwa, and that could mean a lot come the near end of the back end of this race. Lap 9 of 19 coming up, nearly a halfway at the end of the next lap. Will actually be at halfway. Litwa will have DRS on Klimek. Will he use it to his advantage? You bet your life he will.
Oh,
Marcus
we have
pits.
Marcus in the pit lane. Correct. First pit stop of the race, lap 9.
It'll obviously be a stop onto that hard compound tyre, so Marcus making the instinctive decision to pit onto that white wall compound tyre. He will, of course, be last after it.
Not quite, because Raza would say to go
Yeah,
to
right.
pits
Yeah,
as well.
I was interested to see if Razak was going to pit, because of course, Razak's race pace is diabolical sometimes. Razak's
That's
just
true.
picking up the points. Will change his front wing.
Yeah, but to be honest, at this point he has nothing more to lose, so
No.
what does it change to him?
So the front two separated by 6.5 tenths of a second on track as Klimek, I think, just dropped a wheel slightly in the gravel there. Hasn't missed out too much from doing that. Litwa didn't gain too much. In fact, he's actually lost time heading through the Lesmos. So Klimek at this stage in a commanding enough position that he knows he's leading the race and he knows that he's in a very good position with, of course, his teammate in second.
By San Manders.
Litwa nearly threw it all away coming through Ascari there. He took a very unorthodox line
we
coming
don't
through the
quite
inside
know
part
that
of the
yet,
track.
if he threw it or not. We'll see by the end of the race.
Well, no, I was saying that he
everything
nearly
can
lost.
happen.
He nearly lost the car for Ascari. He nearly lost the car for Ascari. I'm taking a very weird line.
Oh,
And
that's
Klimek running
stressful.
quite wide through Alboreto. Will any of the jails pit? Yes, they do. Klimek pits, so Little will see the lead of the race.
Oh, and
Leads
10
the track.
seconds
Klimek
for
gets 10 second
Klimek!
penalty.
Oh, that's a disaster for the team.
So the JLs both get 10 second
Disaster
time penalties,
class.
two 10-second time penalties. And that is
Oh, and
absolutely
San
abysmal
Manders, Super
for both
Supida,
their
Rally
drivers.
Ralph, everybody's in the pits now at this stage.
Klimek isn't held up either, though, by Sen Manders and Super Supida. Nose change for Sen Manders. Nose change for him, so Sen Manders will lose a little bit of time. So Litwa and Klimek now racing for position because they both have 10-second time penalties. Litwa nearly spins coming through the second chicane there. I just saw him lose the back end slightly. Everyone has pit, bar him. He will go 9 laps to the end on those hard compound tyre. He has a 22.9 second lead over his teammate. Can he pull it off, Exceed?
Possibly.
At least stay out in front of his teammate.
That, I think that he will do. Actually, if he extends the stint a little bit longer, he might go to the soft compound and at least try to fight for the fastest lap point.
That's wise enough. You could say Litwa could do that, but I'm not sure he's going to risk all of that.
Yeah, well, let's see.
You'd like to think he'll pit this lap because he has
Yeah,
lost
I
a
say either
second to
this
his
lap
teammate.
or he extends, we'll see. But I think this lap.
Marcus within 7 times trying to get past Klimek. Here comes Litwa into the pits.
Oh, and Klimek
He does
is battling
jank towards
with
the
Macan,
right.
so that helps him anyhow.
So Litwa pits from the lead of the race. Klimek will probably ensue that as well in front of his teammates. Litwa
Alright,
coming into the
let's
boxes.
see. Hearts?
Hearts.
Hearts, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's
he
serving
serves
the
his penalty. He serves his penalty.
Yep, then
which
he
is
won't
something
get
his
it.
teammate couldn't do. Which is something his teammate couldn't do.
this
But
one,
I'm not sure Litwa wanted to do that. Marcus sets the fastest lap, and Marcus might just be about to take the lead of the Grand Prix to the inside on Klimek. And just as was expected, Marcus takes the lead of the Italian Grand Prix on for his 3rd win of the season.
Well, this might be
Nothing
a
Klimek
feisty
could do there.
fight, this one.
Of course, Klimek has that penalty. Litwa dropping all the way down to 6th position. So he has a lot of work to do in these last 9 laps.
Safety
See if he
car,
can
please,
keep up his
maybe?
podium record. Absolutely, that could happen.
Klimek to the PK Junior, I don't know. Maybe not. For legal reasons, that's a joke, I guess.
For legal reasons, that's a joke.
Basically. Anyways, for the left.
Klimek, interesting enough, clipping one wheel in the grass coming down towards Lesmo 2 and does run slightly wide because of getting that little bit of artificial grass on his tyre, but coming down towards the Ascari section of
Yeah,
corners, he does
actually
get very
made the
close to
move.
Marcus.
But no, he won't.
No, he
make it.
doesn't.
Not quite the place to do it.
No, very risky to do so, but Klimek will hold on to 2nd position, will of course have a great chance to get the move done in towards the first 2 corners on the next lap of the race. He is of course suffering from the issue of having a 10-second time penalty, of course, which Marcus will be very glad to hear he has that. They get very close coming out of Alboreto,
be a nice
and
exit
Klimek
from him.
to the inside.
Yep. Already
Interesting
inside the
enough,
DRS.
Marcus Marcus used a bit of overtake there, but it is all too easy for Klimek. He drags
there he
alongside him,
goes.
gets back into the net lead of the race, at least on track. Marcus though leads the race with penalties. Lap 12 of 19. Litwa is a
quite a shame
10th
for
behind
Klimek,
Rally
but-
Ralph and should make that move as they head down towards the first chicane. Litwa does it, get into 5th position. Next up is Sen Manders, who of course started in pole position but has had a race to forget once again this week.
Anyways, at the not quite midway point of the race, who do you think will win it? With the things as they
Someone.
are right now.
Someone, I don't make predictions. That's the way I roll.
Oh well, again.
I kind of cursed Magnus Sheep winning a championship the last time I did that, so I'm not going to do that again.
Okay, please predict Magnus win it or something, I don't know. Maybe it will work this time, maybe not. Who knows?
Klimek setting a personal best middle sector there as he
is
does
he?
pull out a little bit of a lead on Marcus on that on this lap, I should say. 4.5 tenths between them. Razat has spun. Razat has got back
surprising.
onto the track though, as his dismal race weekend and his dismal season once again continues.
Yeah, why is he
Both
driving
Victor
on this
Racing.
stage, honestly? He's just there to be there, I guess. Taking a joy.
He's there to fill out the grid. I don't like saying that about people, but he is there to fill the grid. He's like Ricardo Rosset. Here comes Marcus
Yeah,
though,
can be
2.5 tenths. To the inside. Marcus leads the race yet again. Nothing Klimek can do. Actually, he holds it around the
Oh, and
outside.
he locks
Locks
out.
both of his front tyres. Doesn't get the move. Little sets the fastest lap. Here comes Sem Manders around the outside of Super Speeder. Sem Manders to the outside. Sem Manders gets the place. Nearly overshoots it coming into turn 1 and 2, but he doesn't, luckily for him. Litwa not getting much time on that group in
the
front.
chicane now, but he won't do it, not quite. Through the Lesmos, maybe they're real close. Nose on the gearbox. Through the Lesmo, one they go, and out of it, still no moves made. And into Lesmo 2 now. Does this back straight even have a name, actually?
The corner has the name. Turn 6 does have a name. The cover to Seraglio. And then, of course, we all know what Ascari is.
I know
But the
that.
straight doesn't have a name specifically.
Ah, I thought, when Klimek almost lost it, at least on my screen.
The front straight is the Retifilia Tribune. And yes, you were right, Klimek did lose it and has lost quite a lot of time in the process, but will use a little bit of overtake to try and close back up to Marcus in the lead of the race. Will, of course, have DRS.
Train? What train? Why am I saying a DRS train if there's none? That
Unless
one,
Jan or Trulli's in front. Unless Jan or Trulli's some like invisibly in front, then absolutely.
True.
Here comes Klimek, starts lap number 14, will have the aid of DRS to try and close
Yeah,
up
but
back
he
to the
will
gearbox
not
of
make the
Marcus.
move.
He's not going
far
to make
too
that.
far,
No.
in my opinion. Yeah, he's way too far. So into chicane they go, and nothing changes.
As was to be
Supasopida is
expected.
too far behind Manders to the move, and same goes for Ralph and Litva. So
Rally
for
Ralph,
the
actually
chicane
enough,
one-
has kept up with Litwa, and I'm very interested in how Rally Ralph will combat these last couple of laps of the race. He is now out of
Litva
DRS
is
range of
now
Litwa.
in net before after Supasopida's penalty.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
Hold. Yeah,
So,
and if
maybe-
he gains two
maybe
more
Litwa's podium
seconds
record
on-
continues.
Wait, listen, if he gains 2 more seconds or Klimek loses 2 more seconds, he has the podium.
We'll see what happens, though. Of course, the late race safety car might be slightly out of the question
We
now,
are actually-
unless
yeah,
someone
it's-
crashes. We're still within range, but it'll take another couple of laps before we won't
Yeah,
get a
a
safety
lap
car
or
for a
2
crash.
more, and I think it'll be undeployable. Just a thought. though.
Which doesn't make sense.
EA.
Me when I can't
Actually,
code a
wait, no,
game.
that's actually Codemasters' fault this time. But
Yeah.
okay. For once, it's their fault instead of EA's.
Klimek within 2 tenths of Marcus now as they start lap number 15. Of course, it doesn't matter who finishes in front of it. Klimek pulls out 10 seconds and Marcus in 6 laps. As they do actually make contact, they're bump drafting each other down the front straight, which is quite strange in open wheel racing.
This
But here
actually
comes Klimek
once
to the
happened
inside,
to
makes it
Ratmosa,
again.
But that was in GP3, I believe.
Yeah,
Alessandro Pierguidi.
What was that, 20
or Antonio Felix
20
da Costa, one of these two.
it's 2015 or 2016. Something like that.
Wasn't
Super
it
Speed and Sam
2012,
Manders getting very
actually?
close.
I think it was 2012.
I'm thinking of the GP3 race. That was just so chaotic around this track.
Wait, let me
It's been
actually check this
infamous.
because I'm curious.
Sam Manders goes right around the outside, proper Sebastian Vettel style in 2011, around the outside of Super Speeder coming down in towards turn number 4 and 5 and pulls off the move. So well done to Sam Manders. He's back into 3rd position. Lit was lost a bit of time and is now right back down in 5th position, where he has been. Like, his podium streak is finally going to come to an end.
And I was right, it was indeed in 2012.
Klimek once again has had a good lap.
Yeah, but I was...
Klimek's had a great lap again.
Yeah. But as I was saying, it
course,
was
he's
indeed
not pulling out
Antonio
enough lead.
Felix da Costa in 2012 doing the bump drafting here in the GP3 race. Against a fellow named Vainio, whose name I do not know.
Marcus nearly falling out of DRS range, but crucially enough, the straight is long enough for him to get back within around 3-4 attempts as they head onto lap 16 of 19 in the closing stages of this race. 4 laps to go in the Italian Grand Prix. See, we're at the stage of the race now where everything's calmed down slightly for positions.
Yeah,
The front of the
quite a bit
race,
of boredom now.
that battle does not matter. It doesn't matter whatsoever unless, of course, Klimek finds the most ungodly amount of time. It has been a good race, but from what it offered in qualifying, it hasn't really delivered, in my opinion.
I'd say as well.
Yeah, that's the story of a lot of T2 races, though. The hype in qualifying doesn't really translate into the races, which is a problem that we don't have in T1. In fact, it's quite the opposite. The qualifying sessions are sometimes very lackluster and the races are absolutely amazing. Of course, the T1 race follows in around, we'll be starting our coverage of that in around 45 minutes time, so
45.
we'll see what happens then.
Are we?
Around 45-50 minutes time.
Not
Finally
an hour
getting
10?
long T.
Oh, no, that's irrelevant now.
Stay
And
tuned
it's
for that one.
how
3
much-
laps to
yeah,
go.
3
Klimek
laps
leads,
to go.
at least on track. Here comes Marcus once
So,
again.
I
We'll
think
get that moved on
Marcus
and track
might
to the
get
inside.
his, what, 3rd win this season so far? I think it'll be
3rd win of
third.
the season, yeah.
Yeah, it's quite
Yeah, he
possible.
won in Abu Dhabi and well, and of course Super Speed won last week.
And speaking of, he just got overtaken by Salmanderous yet again.
Yeah, that battle has been going on for quite a while. Nothing really that Litwa can do. Litwa's been in limbo for quite a long time, but he will finish in 4th if the race finished right now due to penalties.
Yeah, although if Litva
Marcus
gains a
will be
second
finishing
and a
down in
half,
3rd.
he will be on the podium.
Which is good, but we never know what will happen. Klimek is in 2nd on track, will be finishing in 3rd, in 4th as it stands, something like that. What I find very interesting about this race is that Litwa's audacious and quite reckless move, which is completely against his character, at least when he's racing, has cost him quite a lot of points. And I was
That's
very
a
shocked to
shame,
see Litwa go
sadly.
for that and eventually get a 10-second penalty. Very surprising to see that. 2 laps to go now. Marcus from Klimek, from Sam Manders from Super Speed, Litwa, Rally Ralph and Raza round out the 5th. Course still to be applied. Klimek will once again get very close to the rear of Marcus. This might be his last chance if he gets past
When
to
Klimek
at least
does
hold
make
the
a
race
move,
lead. He does.
Klimek makes a move. But it doesn't matter almost.
Locks
at
both
all.
tires in towards the Retrophilia, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, 10 seconds or 10 seconds. Wait, hold on a second. 9 more tenths and Litva will be in P3, yeah. So, let's hope maybe 6 tenths.
Klimek once again having a massive lockup into the chicane. I'm not sure whether his tyre pressures or his brake bias are just completely wrong, or whether he is struggling. Razout pits. Razout must be going for some sort of a fast.
Razout!
He's
Wait,
retired.
Razout. Yeah, he's retired.
He's in the pits, yeah.
Yeah, wait.
So
is he
Razout's
qualified
dismal
for
season
points,
continues.
or- I don't think he is. Not quite yet.
Yes, he is. He's completed 90% of the race.
Oh yeah, he did. Wait, he completed
So Razout will be picking up
yeah,
6 points.
Well, I mean, there's no reason for
Heading
him
on
to complete
towards
it,
the
so-
final lap of the Italian Grand Prix. Klimek leads for Marcus in 2nd, as it has been. These two have swapped positions for quite a lot of laps in this race ever since the pit stops. But Marcus is going to pick up his 3rd win of the season as it stands, coming on to the final lap of the race. White flag, not sponsored by Credit One Bank, instead by JL. Here comes Marcus to the inside, takes the lead of the race for perhaps the final time. Lap 19
Will
of
he win it
19.
on track
This is
or by
his
the
victory
penalties?
lap.
We'll see.
I'm talking about both, probably, because I don't think Klimek will get back past at least
Yeah, I
if
don't
he
think as well.
makes that move, maybe down towards turn 4. You never know. He has got quite close through 3. He's within 2 temps, but I think he would be too far back to try and move into turn 4 unless he pulls off something absolutely audacious. Goes to the inside, has a small look, doesn't make the move. But Marcus on his victory lap, on for his 3rd win of the season after 2 early wins, breaking JL's dominance. They haven't won since Imola, which is quite a big surprise. It's now 4
many races
races
left?
without
4
a win
races?
for the
Wow.
JL Fanatec WRT team. 4 races since they last won, of course, after winning the opening 3 rounds of the championship
Yeah,
season.
that's a bit too
But
much
heading
if you ask
into
me.
the mid-season break, JL's domination has ended. Here comes Klimek. Does take a look up the inside. They do make slight contact, but
I
Klimek will
think
lead
there
the
was a
race
bit of
and will
carbon
probably
flying.
win the race on track.
Yeah, that much at least for him.
Klimek will win the race on track unless Marcus will get past again. He will get past again, coming down to Alboreto. Klimek forced him right to the inside of the track. A little touch of wheels, but it won't matter in the slightest because Marcus is going to come through for a
that's
3rd race win of the
that's
season.
amazing.
Klimek's going to win the race on track, but Marcus to the line will win the Italian Prix for his 3rd win of the season. Super Superior just about gets in front of Sem Manders on track. There will be a drag race to the line between them. Sem Manders will get 3rd, so it doesn't really matter all that much though. Litwa within a second. Litwa finishes
and that's
4th. His
before-
podium streak is over after 6
That's unless
races.
somebody
Rally
gets a
Ralph crosses the
penalty
line
for something,
to be
but I
6th
doubt it's
and
happening.
last. What a race.
Yeah, that was something to be sure.
Fun last couple of laps.
True, it was a
will say.
borefest for the most of it, but yeah,
That's T2 for you.
I guess so. Gotta get used to it.
Here they come onto the podium. No backflips. We won't
Quite
see a
yet for
backflip
me,
in T1
though.
because Bottas isn't racing.
Yep, here they come. The people.
The international driver, the Dutch driver, and the Polish driver. Imagine actually racing under the international flag. You must be quite strange.
You're either
Final
from
race
Russia,
results, though.
Belarus, or just hate your country. One of these 3.
Fair enough. Final race results after 26 minutes 35 seconds at a 10th of a second. Marcus takes home his 3rd win of the championship season. Sem Manders finishing in 2nd with Klimek in 3rd. At least a podium continue. The team's podium streak continues. Litwa's podium streak, however, ends in 4th position. He set the fastest lap and gets 13 points. Super Speed in 5th. Rally Ralph 6th. Razout retired with a couple of laps to go in 7th. He does, however, get points for completing more than 90% of the race. Mid-season break to come. What do you make of that one, Exceed?
Well, it will be a boring period, certainly. We got the season break in F1, we got it here, we got it in IndyCar, we got it in NASCAR, we got it anywhere really. Nothing happening
Not
at
in
all.
MotoGP. Not in MotoGP.
Hard to watch MotoGP here, so it's quite irrelevant to me.
Fair enough.
We got like British
Well,
Grand
after
Prix this week, I think?
Yeah, Silverstone this weekend, yeah.
Yeah, I saw some of the vintage schemes. Quite sick ones, I have to say.
A lot of them were let down with the current sponsors, I have to say.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm not
Ducati's is
really-
awful. Ducati's looks nice on paper, but without
Yeah,
like, the
maybe we'll get
Marlboro sponsor or
onto
whatever.
this on the T1 stream.
We have a lot to talk about in the T1 streaming. We'll be live in around 35-40 minutes time, but thank you very much for watching. In T2, 7 races gone, 3-week break to come. Litwa defends his lead in the championship, but it has gone down by a couple of points. Marcus picking up his 3rd win of the season here in Monza. We'll see you very shortly.